Microphone check, microphone check. Hey, this is the world's most popular barbecue talk, barbershop talk, man cave conversation. However you like it or dislike it, this is the Heavyweight Champion Sports Talk Podcast. These are your hosts. Myself is back in the building, B-Way, along with my partner in crime, the redheaded assassin, the redheaded bandit, Mr. Brandon Rudolph. How you feeling today?
I feel great.
You don't sound like it. You don't match my energy.
What energy?
I brought the energy.
Yeah, maybe for the first time. You usually don't bring it.
Nah, I always deliver.
Yeah.
Call me UPS. That's my new nickname.
UPS?
Yes.
Like United States Postal Service?
Yeah, because I deliver. Because I deliver.
USPS?
No.
They're about the Brown. What Brown can do for you?
Yeah.
They're not even national. They're local.
Well, whatever.
They're not international like FedEx.
Don't call me FedEx.
You don't get it done.
Nah. How's your week, man? Are you still quarantining?
I mean, as much as possible. I mean, how much could you possibly stay at home?
Me, I left the house one time in 14 days.
Yeah, that's impossible for the rest of us.
Why?
I got, the stuff to need at the house. There's kids. I got to, make sure that they get outside and do what they need to do, and they get the stuff they need to get.
So you didn't prepare for this?
Prepare?
If you prepare for this, then you don't need all that stuff.
What do you mean prepare for it? How do you prepare for something that's not supposed to happen?
Because they told us in advance that this may happen.
You say that, and people still got to leave the house to go grocery shopping. I mean, you can't just walk in your house and there's groceries there.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I left the house once. I think my wife left the house 3 times.
Exactly. So you put me in the house by myself. I left a total of 4 or 5 times.
Only 2 of those times were the store for her, and one was something else.
Exactly. So we got to leave. You guys left a combined 5 times. I left a combined 5 times.
No, combined 4.
Combined 4.
But our things are, an hour, and we're back.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, mine's now and I'm back.
Okay.
So,
anyway,
I'm not sure where you're going with it.
I mean, you are not too safe, like our listeners heard last week.
What do you mean when I'm not too safe?
You wasn't taking the proper precautions.
I wore a mask and gloves in the store every time I went.
Now.
I walked in, I see a lot of people without gloves or a mask. Your wife just asked me for a mask, which means she don't have one.
No, because you got the top.
Which means she left the house several times without one.
No, we always have a mask.
Did she take the proper precautions?
Yes.
Or she wrap a scarf around her face?
No, we have masks.
No.
But you have like the M16 mask or something or whatever it's called.
M95s.
Yeah, you got the real mask.
I got a good one.
Exactly. That's why she asked you for a mask.
Well, I trust mine mask over and leaving the house over yours leaving the house.
Well.
So you guys aren't doing your due diligence. If you don't have the proper equipment, you shouldn't be going nowhere. Stay home.
We got a mask and gloves.
I don't believe it. But whatever.
Anyway, our thoughts and prayers are still with everybody that's going through this, and as well as the people on the front line, the nurses and doctors and everybody out there that's working hard with this thing. But we're here to entertain you with sports.
Do you believe there were 66 doctors that died in Italy so far over this? And that was a few days ago.
I mean...
That was depressing, right?
That is depressing. That's
There's
news.
10
That's my first time hearing it.
NYPD officers have died from it in New York.
This is serious.
10.
It's serious. It's a serious thing.
Pretty good number.
Kids are still not taking it serious.
There's some people not taking it seriously yet. I mean, I didn't take it seriously up until probably last week. So, I mean, no, I've been longer than that. I've been wearing gloves longer than that. So, I've taken it seriously. I mean, I was just in a store not too long ago where someone in there had it. I'm hoping he wasn't making my food. I got food from there.
No, you came here afterwards.
Yeah, and we recorded or something. We did something. I don't know.
We did record.
Well, look, we ride together. We die together. Yeah. Bad boys for life.
Yeah. Okay. Bad boys for life.
Bad boys for life, man.
All right, man. Hall of Fame class. What do you think about it?
I think the greatest one I've ever seen.
Well, for the listeners that don't know, the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame members were announced. And, of course, it was led by Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, and Kevin Garnett. Also going in was Kim Mulkey, Tamika Catchings.
Mulkey don't deserve it yet, I don't think.
We'll get there. Hold on. Barbara Stevens, because I don't want to leave nobody out. And Eddie Sutton and Rudy Tomjanovich. So congratulations to that class.
It's a good class.
It's a big-time class.
I mean, I'm surprised Rudy's just now getting in. That surprises me. Monkey getting in the same time as Rudy? I don't understand that.
Well, Rudy
got punched square in the face.
Yeah, that was ugly.
He deserved to be in just for that.
Rudy, yeah.
There's some people saying it's the best Hall of Fame class ever, or one of them.
I would agree with that.
Agree with what?
This being the best Hall of Fame class ever.
This is just coming from the same guy that called people stupid last week.
I'm gonna call you stupider this week because Michael Jordan won it. He was just in the finals last week.
They're not going there.
But
yet.
he actually
we're not there yet.
Okay,
we're not there yet.
Okay.
Stay focused. Stay focused.
I was about to snap.
You're one of those people
That is stupid.
Yeah.
Why?
There was another class. I'm pretty sure Michael Jordan class.
Just Michael Jordan. What are you saying?
I mean, pull up his class. We have a stat guy pull up his class. I think it was Michael Jordan, David Robinson, John Stockton. I mean, that alone, if you ask me, it's a hell of a class.
Let's go Michael Jordan being a 10, Kobe being a 9.
Maybe. That's still pretty close for my liking.
Tim Duncan is way better than David Robinson.
Nah, it's about an 8-9.
No.
It's about an 8-9.
No, it's about a 9-6.
No, you're out your mind. Don't do it to the Admiral. Don't do that to the Admiral.
You're talking about Tim Duncan.
Don't do that to the Admiral.
He's the best power forward ever.
John Stockton would be one of the best point guards ever.
Nobody had John Stockton as the best point guard ever.
Why not? Because he wasn't flashy? He didn't go through his legs?
No. Because he
leads the league in assists.
Because he wasn't the best point guard ever. That's why.
He was John Stockton.
If you could start I'll give you 5 teams to put together of NBA players, and you're not putting John Stockton in any of them.
I'm putting John Stockton on one.
You're a liar.
He's fundamental basketball at his finest. It's like watching a bunch of chicks play. They're fundamental. You told me that.
They're more fundamentally sound. They shoot the ball better. They take.
John Stockton was that. He was a fundamental basketball player.
John Stockton was very fundamental, and I'm not taking anything away from him. Like by saying he's not KG.
I mean, KG's a 3 or 4.
I'm just saying, like his career.
They're not comparable.
What do you mean not comparable? That's the third
player. How
player.
can you compare them?
Because we're going Kobe, Mike.
No, bring up the whole class.
All right, I'm getting
You
there.
got Mulkey, Catchings, Tomjanovich, and Eddie Sutton.
Eddie Sutton, yep.
Bum. We got Mulkey, bum. Sutton, bum. Only ones who deserve it. Catchings deserve it. One of maybe the best people.
Sutton has over 800 wins.
I don't care what he got.
Over 800 wins.
He coached for 40 years. He should have 800 wins.
You could start coaching. You could have started coaching 10 years ago, which would make you.
Basketball is different. They play 80,000 games,
and you still wouldn't have 800 wins.
They play 80,000 games.
Listen,
I coach football.
You could start coaching when you turned 18
I
years
coach
old.
Football.
I'm talking basketball. Listen.
In my career, in 5 seasons, I got 40 wins.
Listen, if you could coach basketball and you started coaching at 20 years old, and you coach the next 40 years, you might not get 800 wins.
I would have 900.
No, you would. Michael Jordan's Hall of Fame class. Jerry Sloan was in there.
Wow.
What?
Way better coach than Tomjanovich.
No, no, he's not.
Keep going.
Rudy won a title.
So what?
Jerry Sloan didn't win nothing.
Jerry Sloan had Utah relevant for 25 years.
And he had 2 of the greatest players ever and didn't win a title.
Tomjanovich had a big 3.
What are you saying?
Just telling you.
Rudy's better.
All right,
John Stockton was in there. Vivian Stringer. That's a good one.
That is a very good one. That's a great one, actually. That's better than Mulkey. That's better than Mulkey.
I'll give you that. And David Robinson.
But who else?
But they are not better.
Who else we got?
They are not better than this class that just went in. You had, Kobe, Duncan, KG is better than Jordan, Stockton, Dave Robinson.
I just disagree, man.
Rudy is better than Sloan.
Any list that Jordan's on, obviously, I should tell you, basketball. When he did the top college basketball player, any list that Jordan's on, he's making it. It's number one, even if he don't deserve it. But we know he all deserves it for basketball. Basketball, he deserves it.
You're like these dumb people that voted for Jordan last week.
I didn't vote for Jordan last week.
No, but you just like him. Because you hear his name and you automatically think the best.
I thought the best player in college basketball history was Jimmer Fredette.
You just lost all credibility to our fans, man.
Jimmer, man, you got Jimmered.
Everybody that listens to us now done lost credibility.
I was just joking about that. Even though I did like Jimmer though. He put him up.
Yeah.
Jimmer put him up.
Jimmer's over in China right now.
Best player I ever seen in college that I ever seen. No. Not going Lou Alcindor. We didn't see him play.
I say forget about seen. Because you didn't see Jordan play in college.
I didn't either. That's why I said seen.
That's what I'm saying. So you might as well go off the...
Seen in college basketball. That's a tough one. There were some guys that were good in college but not good in the league.
You can't go off of what you saw. We're talking about the best college basketball player ever.
Who do you think is the best basketball player you ever seen? Period.
The best basketball player ever
not
seen?
No, in the college. Not Lou Alcindor. We didn't see him play. Who?
Well, the one that I seen?
Yeah.
It's different. We came up in a different era where...
Who?
Listen. Where they were one and done or skipping college.
Okay, that's fine. So who's the best? But no, we're not going high school. We're going college. Guy that played in college.
I'm saying that our era is dumbed down because of that.
That's fine. Let it be dumbed down then.
It don't matter. Don't matter who's the best I saw.
Who's the best you saw?
The best college basketball player I saw. Michael Grant Hill.
Who?
Grant Hill.
Grant Hill. I didn't see him play really.
There's a lot you could go off of.
I didn't really see him play, and I don't know if he was the best.
People thought he was going to be the next Jordan.
He's a dookie though. I know why you went there. I know why you went there. I wouldn't be biased by going North Carolina. There were some greats.
They don't have none that you think are the greatest.
You got your freaking mind.
Who?
There's some greats play there. Jerry Stackhouse.
Not the best ever. He's a good.
Vince Carter played there. He was good there.
They're good basketball player. They weren't.
McCants was good there. Rashad McCants. He was great there. Tyler Hansbrough was great there.
Tyler Hansbrough was great. The rest of you guys' names were average.
No, they weren't average.
I mean, they were okay. They're not. They don't
Tyler
belong
Hansbrough was way above average.
They don't belong.
One of the greatest players in college at that time.
He had a great career.
I remember watching Carmelo play and being really impressed by him. And he led his team to a title his freshman year. And I thought that was pure domination by him.
You get hot at the right time.
Yeah, I thought that was pure domination by Carmelo. I ain't gonna say he was the best I ever seen, but for him not being mentioned, he was pretty great. He was pretty great in college. He only played 1 year though.
I'm about to say it comes down. Nobody cares about the 1 year. Anybody can have a good year.
I'm going off of the best year, best player you ever seen. Well, it don't matter what year it was. If it was just one and done.
I'm just stating.
Tim Tebow might be the best football player we ever seen in college.
I don't know why, but we're getting off topic here because that Jordan draft class, Hall of Fame class, was not better than this year's 2020 Hall of Fame class, and that's
pretty close.
You can say it's close.
I might say they got it. Jordan's class got it.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
We're going Stringer, Sloan, Jordan, Stock. Yeah, it's close. It's close.
I don't think it's close, but I'll take your close. I'm definitely not taking your it's better.
If Kobe Bryant was still alive, we'd be saying it's a lot closer. Right now, everyone's emotional. Kobe Bryant's in that class. Things like that happen, man. People, a lot of times, especially in America, people do things off emotions.
Well, Shaq made some interesting comments that we'll talk about on the other side of this break about Chris Webber being snubbed. And if Chris Webber got drafted to the Spurs, maybe he would be Tim Duncan. We'll talk about that on the other side. Remember, you're listening to Opinionated Facts on the RTF Sports Network as well as TCP. We'll be right back. And you're back listening to Opinionated Facts on the RTF Sports Network as well as a TCP collaboration. Now, we have the great Shackness, who made a statement along the lines of, if Chris Webber, who got snubbed this year, or I feel though he got snubbed, my co-host feels differently, but if he was drafted to the San Antonio Spurs, that he would be Tim Duncan.
I think that's an asinine statement.
Why?
Because your talent is what your talent is. So, regardless if he got drafted by Golden State and played in Sacramento.
In that pop system, though, it's a little different.
No, that pop system is not different. We're seeing that with DeMarcus DeRozan. Or, what's his name? What the heck's his name? From the traded for Kawhi? Toronto?
DeRozan.
What's his first name? DeMar DeRozan.
Yep.
We see that with him. I can't even pronounce his name anymore.
He's doing well.
That pop system the pop system's good, but the pop system ain't great, obviously, because he was a star in Canada. And now you don't even know you don't even know his name.
He's playing well.
Is he?
Yeah.
Because they may not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
They probably won't.
The West is tough.
They probably stop at the bottom. The bottom 8? No, stop.
The West is tough.
Pop made it in the West the last 20 years.
We'll see what happens.
He's not gonna make playoffs.
They ain't got the playoffs yet.
They ain't gonna make the playoffs. Anyway, your talent is what your talent is. If Tim Duncan goes to Golden State, they were competing. If he goes to Sacramento and plays with Lottie Divac and they played against the Lakers, they probably go on to the championship.
No.
Yes, that's the difference.
You're being disrespectful.
The talent is what the talent is.
So you think...
Put Tim Duncan on Sacramento, and them battles they had with L.A., they go to the championship. And not L.A.
Come on, man.
That is a fact.
No, it's not.
Yo, that is a fact. Your talent... Shaq can't say that, because your talent is what your talent is.
Chris Webber was...
Put Lolly Divac on Sacramento. On L.A. Lakers. And put Shaq on the Kings. That ain't automatically taking the Lakers to the championship.
I don't think you're giving Chris Webber his due diligence. Like, he's a bad boy.
He's a good player.
He's a great player.
He's a good player.
He should be in the Hall of Fame.
He's a little wishy-washy with the timeouts, but he's a good player.
I think Chris Webber he's just as good as KG. Like, he's on that level.
He's good. What do you mean? He's not Tim Duncan. Talent-wise.
He's not.
Regardless who they play with. Talent goes, he's not as good as Tim Duncan.
Talent-wise, Chris Webber, he was a bad boy, man.
You're not, see?
I don't.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's
not Tim Duncan. You put him somewhere else, they probably don't even get the nickname Twin Towers. You put him on Spurs, he probably don't get the nickname Twin Towers. He gets another dumb nickname.
They're definitely the Twin Towers.
He's still C-Web.
No.
That's all he is.
Should he have won in the Hall of Fame this year?
It's hard to say he got snubbed. How did he get snubbed? Who are you taking out?
KG could have waited a year.
Come on. Stop. Game changer. And he has a title.
See, Webb's a game changer.
He has a title.
He does have a title.
If it's that close with him, you go with the guy that had the title, right? Who do you go with?
I agree.
If it's that close, who do you go with? You go with the guy that has the title. KG got a title.
Yeah, but you wanted to take Sloan over Rudy Tom-Jonathan. Sloan don't have a title?
I'm saying Sloan was valid for 25 years. 25 years.
Yeah, man.
He had Jazz irrelevant.
C. Webb took Michigan to the Final Four. Back-to-back years.
He called that timeout. It's the bane of his existence.
Him
calling that timeout is the bane of his existence.
He was a dominant NBA player.
Who?
C. Webb.
Dominant?
Yeah.
Dominant.
His early years? Yes.
I feel like there's only about 15 players ever in the history of the NBA that were dominant.
He's one of them. 15?
15.
Get out of here. There's 15
dominant. We're dominant.
There might be 15 dominant players right now.
No, dominant? To just dominate.
Yeah.
No.
You're saying 15 dominant players ever.
Ever.
No.
Shaq, Kareem, Wilt, Bill Russell.
What, they got to be big men?
No.
I'm saying, we didn't put Jordan there.
You got Jordan. Even Kobe at times, I don't know, was dominant. He just shot the ball a lot.
Buddy, you're talking about
guys that can dominate the game no matter what's going on, no matter the scheme, no matter if there's 4 players on them, none of that.
Chris Webb averaged
20, he wasn't dominant.
20-9 for his career.
He wasn't dominant.
For his career.
20-9. That's not domination.
You forget about the later years when he went to the Sixers and did all that stuff. But his early years, he was a bad boy.
In his early years.
I'm just saying, like, you're trying to say that he wasn't a dominant basketball player. I can give you KG
when you say dominant, you put him in the same dominant category as Shaq or Tim Duncan. Karl Malone.
Yeah.
No, you can't even put him in the same domination category as Barkley.
No.
None of those guys. So where are we going with this domination thing? Like, where are we going?
You named 4
How
of the best.
far out can we go?
You named 4 Hall of Famers, didn't you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm just saying. There's levels.
I didn't say he wasn't a Hall of Famer. I'm just saying, who does he deserve it over this year?
I said arguably KG.
How can you argue that? KG was a 2010 guy, too.
Only thing you can say is KG got the title, but he had to go to Boston to do it.
KG was a 2010 guy, too.
If you replace KG on that team with in his prime Chris Webber, they still have a title.
They don't go.
Come on, man.
They don't go. Not even close. They don't win it. They might go to the championship. They're not winning it.
Why?
Because Chris Webber probably called a timeout. They don't have any.
This guy's terrible, man. Give Chris Webb his just due, man.
I think he's a great player, but he didn't get snubbed. You only get snubbed when somebody gets in that don't deserve it. Who don't deserve it? Who didn't deserve it?
I said you can argue KG.
No, we both know KG deserves it. So
no, I'm not saying KG. I'm just saying he could have waited a year.
So can C-Webb.
C-Webb been out a while. He should be in.
He should be in when it's his time.
He's a first ballot guy.
He ain't no first ballot. Stop. When he played for Golden State, they were terrible.
He wasn't.
But they were. That's what happens. When you don't win games, what happens?
That's what happens when you're the first pick. You don't go to
Kevin
a bad
Love
team.
when he played in Minnesota.
That's what
Nobody cared until he was averaging 25 and 10. You know why? Because they weren't winning games.
That's what happens when you go to a bad team. You get drafted, number 1. You go to a bad team.
If you're that dominant, you win games. He didn't win no games. You know why? Because he wasn't dominant.
That's not true. Shaq didn't dominate his
That's a fact.
I mean, Shaq dominated, but his team didn't win too many games his first year.
That's a fact.
Jordan took 9 years to win the title. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Jordan won the title in his 8th year.
All right.
Just like LeBron.
8th year.
Yeah, he didn't have Pippen yet. Things didn't align yet.
C-Webb never got a Pippen. C-Webb didn't come into an admiral
C-Webb never got a title either. He never got nothing.
If C-Webb got drafted to the Spurs,
C-Webb ever win MVP?
Duncan, he's a Hall of Famer.
Did he ever win MVP?
Who?
C-Webb.
No.
Ever been league MVP?
Look at the teams he
How
played on.
How dominant could you possibly be?
Look at the teams he played on.
He played for Sacramento. That's the Western Conference Finals like 2 years in a row.
He led his team to the
led.
Yeah, he led.
Led. Some say Vlade Divac.
Oh my God. Nobody says Vlade Divac.
Vlade.
You can't name nobody else on that team.
I can't.
Exactly.
Vlade and C-Webb.
Jason Williams on that team, wasn't he?
Jason Kidd. Oh, J-Dub. Yeah, Jason Williams was
Dub.
on that white chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on that squad.
All I'm saying is...
He one of the best point guards in the league at that time.
He can't be throwing
at that time.
He can't work. No,
at
it
that
wasn't.
time.
He wasn't.
What do you mean he wasn't?
He was flashy, but he wasn't efficient.
He wasn't. He was like Derrick Rose early on.
No.
He was Derrick Rose early on.
Derrick Rose was an NBA MVP guy.
He was.
No, he was not. He was passing the ball to C. Webb and making it look good doing
Jason Williams, when he played for Sacramento, was a good player.
He was. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying he wasn't one of the best.
In the league.
No, he wasn't. Bottom line, C. Webb led that team to as far as they could go. And they lost to a better team. But if Steve Webb would have got drafted, Duncan would have never led that team there to the Western Conference Finals. That's all I'm saying.
Look, buddy. Jason Williams was a good player.
Yeah, okay. You hold on to that.
He was averaging 14 and 8. That's 14 points, 8 assists when they were relevant.
That's average.
That's a good. That's what do you mean? That's a good player. 14 points, 8 assists.
All right, I said that, but I said he wasn't one of the best.
You know, shooting 38% from he had a good career.
You can't say one of the best. He did have a good career. I like
14
the guy.
14 and 8 is one of the best, man. When you're in the Western Conference Finals every year.
It wasn't every year.
It was back-to-back years.
It was 2 years, and he played with one of the best power forwards in the league at that time.
There's not a Hall of Famer.
Who should be.
Tomorrow.
Stop disrespecting him. People like you hold on to the timeout.
I don't care about the timeout. Timeout doesn't hurt me.
That's the first thing you want to.
It was a relevant argument.
It's the first thing you want to. Had no claiming. It was one play in a game.
It was a huge play.
They wouldn't even have been to that point if it wasn't for him.
There was a couple seconds left. What do you mean? Oh, one play of his whole career. It was one huge play of his entire career.
They wouldn't have been
Maybe
there.
arguably the biggest play of his career was the timeout.
Listen, they would not have been there if it wasn't.
He panicked.
He was young.
Well, yeah, that's no excuse. He panicked.
He wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for C. Webb.
They wouldn't have been there.
They wouldn't have been there.
Stop. What do you mean? They had Jalen Rose.
The Fab Five wouldn't be the Fab Five.
Without the fifth guy.
Without that guy.
He was the third best guy on the team.
They would, what?
He was the third best guy on the team.
Oh, you deserve to be smacked.
Jalen Rose and the other kid, Bernard King, were the two best players they had.
It wasn't Bernard King. You're thinking Juwan Howard, man.
No. He was on that squad.
What do you mean?
The kid King was on that team. His last name was King. What was his first name?
He wasn't that good.
No. He was the best player on the team, arguably.
No, he was not.
Yeah, you're such a...
He's the only guy that stayed 3-4 years in college.
Yeah.
The rest of them guys
he
left.
was the best player on that team, yo.
You're an idiot. How can you say...
He was the best player on that team. Jimmy King.
How can you say...
No, Ray Jackson stayed.
So did Jimmy King.
Jimmy King was out of that thing first year.
No, he was. He wasn't the only one that left first year.
The second year, whatever.
I don't know when he left, but nobody knows the relevance of the Fab Five after Chris Webber left.
You're out your mind.
He was Batman.
Jimmy King was the best player on that team.
If they were the Jackson Five, Chris Webber was Michael.
No, he was not.
That's all I'm saying.
Jalen Rose was the best player on that team.
No, he wasn't.
God, you're unbelievable.
He wasn't the best player in the NBA of the Fab Five. He wasn't the best player in college of the Fab Five. Chris Webber, he needs his just due. Get him in the Hall of Fame, Nate Smith basketball people.
Get him in the Hall of Fame when he deserves it.
He deserves it.
No, he does.
It's bad enough.
He does deserve it. That's true. But unfortunately,
got you digging the crates for guys like Jimmy King and Jay Williams. Come on, man.
What? He played with some good talent.
No.
The Fab Five was going to be relevant that year regardless. They only got 4 of the guys.
You digging in the crates for some people, man. Like, come on, man.
Ray Jackson.
If they didn't have Chris Webber on them teams, they're not even going to the finals.
Well, I know who had them. Golden State, and they didn't do nothing.
Hey, bottom line is...
They didn't do nothing, but then Baron Davis came, hooked that thing up.
Well, Chris Webber was gone by then.
Exactly. Baron Davis made them relevant. They were winning games then.
They were never really relevant.
They were relevant.
They were a fun watch. It was like Steph and Clay when they had Mark Jackson. They were fun to watch, but they wasn't really winning nothing.
They were winning.
Yeah.
Steph Curry wasn't healthy enough yet. Steph Curry's always out.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was just a fun watch, man. That's all it was.
Man. Come on. You're disrespectful to the Hall of Fame class this year.
Salute to everybody got in the Hall of Fame. Put Chris Webber in there. We got to take another break. We'll be right back. Remember, you're listening to Opinionated Facts on the RTF Sports Network as well as TCP collaboration. We'll be right back after these quick messages. And we're back. You're listening to Opinionated Facts on the RTF Sports Network, TCP collaboration. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're everywhere. Make sure you follow the page, Opinionated Facts, our O.F. Podcast boys. Moving on. Mike Leach. How does this guy keep getting hired?
He's a good coach.
I made a comment about that on Facebook, or post about that on Facebook.
He's a good coach.
He makes teams relevant.
He does. Washington State wasn't really doing much till he got there. Where did he come from? Louisville?
No.
Where was he
Texas
at?
Tech.
Texas Tech. Yeah, Texas Tech. When he was locking people in the closet.
Yes.
Then he went somewhere else, and then he went to Washington.
If he was black, he wouldn't have a job.
Yeah, he would. He was relevant.
You're right. He may be coaching Division II football in southeastern Louisiana somewhere.
No, I just think Mike Leach is one of those guys that is him all the time. He doesn't know that he has to have like a public eye on him. So he has to have like a public persona. Like he has to be careful with the things that he does because he's Mike Leach, because of the things he's already done and have been accused of. Mike Leach is a good coach. He wins where he goes. Wherever he goes, he usually wins.
All right, well, let's tell the story. Hold on. Let's tell the story first. So Mike Leach is now the head coach at Mississippi State, one of the most historical racist places in America.
Mississippi?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And he tweets out a picture of his wife holding a noose, saying that she's getting ready to hang him or something because she's tired of him, being in the house because of this quarantine situation.
Sounds funny.
And racist.
Racist how? Because it's a noose? Why is it that you equate a noose with the black person? That's what I'm more mad about that.
Mississippi?
Period. Let's forget that he's in Mississippi. It just say he coached for Temple.
But he don't.
Would the people still be mad? Yeah.
Yes.
Because it was a noose.
That's because in America, historically, a noose been used for hanging
Historically, yes. But, people have used nooses for other things.
Yes.
Am I correct in saying that?
Yes. But in America, what's it known for?
In America, it's a knot.
If somebody walking past your house out where you live in the middle of nowhere,
I'm an African American gentleman
with a noose,
and he's white and shows up at my front porch. That's a racist thing.
No, he's walking past your house, just swinging his noose around.
I would want to know what he's going to use it for, but I wouldn't assume he's using it for a black person.
You would assume he has some. Would you assume that he was a Barack Obama supporter?
I wouldn't assume.
Would you assume that?
I wouldn't assume anything.
That he looked at you and didn't see somebody less of him.
I'd probably scream out the window, like, "Hey, boy, what you doing with that rope?"
But you wouldn't assume nothing.
Would I assume that he was a racist because he's carrying around a piece of rope? No,
I didn't say racist. I said somebody that views you as being below him.
I don't know. Maybe I come from a different place, but when I see a noose, it doesn't make me cringe. It doesn't make me see racism. It doesn't make me see Emmett Till. Like, when I don't see those things when I see a piece of rope. I'm not going to let that box me into a corner and like, yo, this is racist.
That's not.
Yes. And for a long time, it was considered, it depends on how you use it. Everything is about what you use with the information, how you use it. So if I take a noose with the intent on let's say I tie a noose and I hang it on a black kid's locker in school. That's meant for intimidation purposes. That's meant to be racist.
Yes.
But if I get a noose and put a white doll on it and hang it out front for Halloween. Is that racist?
If you get a noose and you hang it out.
I was just, you know what? I wanted to hang a dead doll out on my front porch for Halloween as a decoration with a bunch of other decorations. It just happens to be a noose with a white freaking mannequin hanging in it.
Off a tree.
No, right from my roof or something. Whatever. It's like a scare tactic thing. Is it racist?
It's offensive.
To who?
To people who might not like seeing dolls hanging from wherever they're hanging from. So yes, that would be offensive.
To who?
I just told you, to people who do not like seeing dolls hanging from any place.
Okay. Why? Could they equate people hanging as black people hanging? Because there's hangings that still go on in this world.
In this world, yes. There's slavery that still goes on in this world.
Yeah, so...
But we're talking about America, and we're talking about Mississippi.
You can't just say what's going on here. I mean, there's things going on everywhere.
Yes, this is where he works at. This is home.
This is where he works at.
You work in Mississippi, and you coach a predominantly black team. And you think that it's okay for you to tweet out a picture of your wife with a noose in her hand, talking about hanging anything.
I honestly think he didn't give it any thought before he did it. I honestly believe that. I honestly believe he didn't think in his mind that this is going to be offensive. And maybe that just makes him out of touch. It doesn't make him a racist.
Do you think
he coaches predominantly black people? Period.
Yes, that's
no
why,
matter where he's at.
That's why I'm wondering what his train of thought was behind.
It's more. I think it's more. It's more. He's out of touch. It's a lack of. It's more. He's more ignorant than anything. I think it was ignorance.
Playing the game that he plays.
I don't think he put thought into it. Like, yo, this is a news. This is going to offend my black players. No, I don't think he thought it. Obviously, he wouldn't have posted it if he thought that.
Would you send your kid there?
To Mississippi State to play ball?
Yes.
I don't know if I send
Leach.
my kid to. Oh, Mike, he can play for Mike Leach.
Okay.
That's big time football. Hell yeah.
If Mike Leach wants him, another coach wants him. I would rather send my kid.
That's SEC football. So once they offer you an SEC, everybody in the SEC offers you because they don't want you to have them.
Once, I would want my kid to go to a lesser school than to go play for somebody who was at.
So you mean if it was
or insensitive?
If it was Mike Leach at Mississippi State or North Dakota State?
We're going North Dakota State.
We're going. I trust my kid more around a bunch of black people in Mississippi State than I do than North Dakota State.
Why are you? It's not the kids you got to be worried about.
The kids are going to have each other's backs.
It's the guy who's talking about nooses
Mike Leach.
And locking kids in closets.
First of all,
that's the guy you got to worry about.
Mike Leach. He ain't overpowering anybody. Things get ugly. Them kids will whoop Mike Leach's ass. That ain't the problem.
Yeah, it's power.
I'm never worried about, Mike Leach and Mike. No, I'm not worried about him.
He ain't going to hang nobody.
I'm worried about my son being comfortable in his atmosphere, which he's going to be more comfortable in the atmosphere with people that look like him.
I'm not worried about him physically assaulting or hurting nobody, no. But it's the guy with power, and that's the type of
there's power in numbers
and racism you have to worry about.
There's power in numbers.
If it's the noose with that,
I'll take them 10 guys that got my son's back that look like my son over that one guy that got power. There's power in numbers. You know why? Because everybody on that team that stands up and says, you know what, I'm not playing if he's our coach, Mike Leach should be out of there.
That might happen.
I'm just saying.
We already saw Fabian Levitt transfer.
Okay, he transferred. But I'm saying if the rest of his players stood up and said, we're not playing if he's our coach, then Mike Leach would be gone. But they're not doing that. Because some people aren't offended at all.
No, I'm sure they are. Because I think there was a walkout or something, or protest, some protest.
Oh.
About
everything you know what? People are bored. It's quarantine. People are bored.
I mean, I agree with that.
They got time to pay attention to stuff like this.
People are definitely bored. But, like, that's the type of racism you got to worry about.
Everything can't be racist.
I'm not saying it is. But I'm saying that is insensitive.
It wasn't sensitive. I agree with that.
And yes, Fabian.
It was ignorant. God bless
you for leaving.
It was ignorant. It was insensitive.
Racially insensitive.
It was racially insensitive. He should take a class on it.
All right, that's all we're saying. So you agree?
But I'm not saying was he being. I don't think he gave it any thought.
I'm not making excuses for him. You're a grown
I'm
man.
not making excuses for him. I'm
He's making
saying
millions of dollars.
it doesn't matter. There's not one white person in this country that knows what it's like to be black.
Yes.
Not one.
I agree.
So there are going to be insensitive things that they don't know about. And yeah, the lack of knowledge on his part, absolutely. But was he being racist and should he lose his job because of it? No, I don't think that. No, I don't agree.
He definitely should lose his job.
No.
But if you're an athlete, if you're that much out of touch, then you can't be trusted to run a football program bringing in millions of dollars.
This guy has been in big programs bringing in millions of dollars. You can't trust him because he posted a picture on Twitter?
Yeah.
Stop. Our president has done worse things. Our president of the United States has been more offensive than anyone that I've ever listened to on television. Anyone that I've ever seen. Any tweet that has ever come out, he has been more offensive than anybody I know. And he still got a job. And he's our president. He meets with other countries on our behalf.
And you know who his right-hand man is?
I don't.
Mike Leach.
No, it's not his right-hand man.
That's what I promise you.
Stop.
Listen,
Stop.
look it up.
Look, I'm not mad at the guy for voting for somebody.
No, I'm not.
I don't look at you differently because of your political views.
I'm not telling
you. What
I'm
saying is, Donald Trump has been more offensive to all races, not just blacks, not just some white people, not just Asians, not just China. He's been more offensive to every race that's not his race than anyone I've ever seen, anyone I've ever heard talk.
Birds of a feather flock together.
And I don't believe that Mike Leach is on that level. Absolutely not.
He publicly campaigned for the guy.
So what? So do we. I didn't, but you publicly. I know people that publicly campaigned for Hillary Clinton. So what? We did the same for our people.
Okay, that's his people. That's all I'm saying.
What I'm saying is we have done the same for our people. So somebody that we want to win an election, we'll go out and campaign for those people. We'll go out and do this. He was just doing what he thought was right. He thought, okay, in his mind, I got to get this guy elected. Just like in your mind, Donald Trump's a piece of crap. I got to get Hillary elected. In his mind, he said, Hillary's a piece of crap. I got to get Donald elected. He's not responsible for what happens after that.
All right, so
we're not responsible for Hillary sending emails that shouldn't have been sent.
Right,
or using the emails.
Here goes the history.
You got me going off.
Here goes the history between Mike Leach and Donald Trump. Donald Trump released a book, one of them books that he released. Mike Leach read it, was a big fan. He wanted to meet with him. This is before Donald Trump was president. And they met. And they've been, I wouldn't say best friends, but they've been close ever since.
So that's Kanye West.
All right.
Black people still buy his album.
I'm not saying anything is wrong, but I'm just saying birds of a feather flock together. So all of your insensitive stuff that you just said about the Trump man, our president,
He's
our
responsible
leader,
for his own mouth.
Is this guy hangs out with?
So is Will Smith responsible? Is Jay Leno responsible? Because Trump's made appearances on all those places, on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, on The Tonight Show.
That was 30 years ago.
It don't matter what it was. It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't. If that's your man,
30 years
that's
ago.
your man. He was on your show, right? He was on your show.
No.
That's your man. That's what you're saying.
No, you're thinking of something that happened
No,
one time.
what I'm saying is
30
Donald
years
Trump
ago.
was cool to every single rapper until he became president.
And started saying racial stuff. Yes.
No, that's not what it was.
That's what it was.
The guy was cool to everybody.
No.
Everything was Donald Trump, Taj Mahal. This guy owns these places. I live in Trump Towers, presidential suite. Nah, I'm not trying to hear that.
And then he went out and got endorsed and got publicly endorsed by the head of the KKK and loved it. And black people were like, oh, let me fall back from this guy. He's a weird. He's obviously a racist. And then he goes to Puerto Rico and he's shooting jump shots at the boy with toilet paper.
Let me ask you a question.
Like,
If Hillary Clinton got backed by the president of the Black Panthers, you think she would have backed off of it?
Yes.
You're out your cotton picking mind.
Yeah, man. Now we got cotton picking.
You're out your mind.
Yes.
You're out your mind. If she got endorsed by the Black Panther president, no way she backs off of it.
All I'm saying is your boy Mike Leach and the insensitive guy you were just talking about. I'm just saying, you understand that birds of a feather flock together.
I thought that only worked for women.
Are boys.
I feel like that only works for women. I always said birds of a feather flock together. I always said it in reference to women.
That's probably insensitive. I don't even want
exactly.
I don't even want you to elaborate on that.
I'm not going to elaborate on it. It's very offensive.
Shout out to you, Fabian Lovett, man. He transferred. He's a 6'4", 315
Shout out
pounds.
him for what? For leaving?
Yes, for standing up for something. He's a D tackle. He's currently in the transfer portal. So teams that are looking for a nice D tackle, 6'4", first out the SEC.
He's probably not that good.
Yes, and he started for him last year.
So what?
You start in the SEC, you're pretty good.
That's not true. Tim Tebow started in the SEC.
Another guy that had probably one of the best college careers.
He's a
ever.
bum.
So salute to Fabian Lovett and Mike Leach. Hope you get fired before the season starts.
Wow.
I said it. That's how I feel.
He should lose his job.
Yes.
For posting a picture on Twitter that wasn't meant to be racist or insensitive.
You don't know what it was meant to be.
His intention.
You don't know what it was meant to be.
The guy's not going to intend to insult his entire team.
Well, you should have made better choices.
It was a bad judgment call. I agree with that. I'm not saying it wasn't. It's a bad judgment call.
If he was Mike Leach, if Mike Leach looked like me and you, he wouldn't be coaching anyway. He would have been gone after he locked some kid in the closet.
I'm light skinned. I get a job anywhere.
Well, okay, you can keep thinking that. I'm not black. I'm OJ. You keep thinking that. You keep thinking that.
What I'm saying is, I was joking about that. I joke around about skin color all the time. So black, white, green, blue, doesn't matter to me. I ride for what I ride for, what I believe in. And I don't think Mike Leach, I ain't riding for him or nothing like that, but I don't feel like I think he made a bad judgment call. I think he was highly insensitive, but I do believe that he was ignorant to the fact of what this might do. Or else, why would he post it?
I'm not making excuses for you, Mike. You got to go. Anyway, moving forward. My co-host thinks the greatest comeback of all time was the Cleveland Cavaliers coming back from being down 3-1 over the Golden State Warriors.
2016 NBA Finals. And absolutely. It was on ESPN the other day. They played like the last two games. I think they played game. No, they played game 5, 6, and 7. I watched them and I'm cheering as if I hadn't been there before. I haven't seen it.
They
and my son was sitting right there and he was cheering as if he's never seen it.
They just showed Kobe's last game yesterday and I was cheering like that too.
Yeah.
Go ahead, finish.
So you see this and it's all right, game 5 happens and without Draymond. And I hate hearing this for this it's 3-1.
That's where I was going.
Draymond kicks LeBron in the manhole, and got suspended. So they win that game. So it's 3-2.
Draymond missed the next game.
He missed. That was 3-2. He missed game 5. This happened in game 4.
All right.
So Draymond gets suspended for game 5. They come out and win in Cleveland. Go up. Golden State still up 3-2. Fine. Great. Whatever. So Draymond has 6 and 7 to get his revenge. Or Golden State has 6 and 7, 1 being in Golden State to win.
Yes.
Actually, 2 being in Golden State.
I thought this game 7 was in Golden State.
Because game 5 was in Golden State.
Yeah, and then game 6 was in Cleveland.
And then game 7 was in Golden State.
Yeah.
They had 2 times that went at home. They lost game 5. Because, we didn't have Draymond. His 9 and 8 that he normally produces. His triple single.
It's more than that.
His triple single. So he wasn't there for his triple single, so they lost.
It's not about the stats.
So then game 6, he has a chance to come out. Game 7, Draymond comes out and he goes, 5 for 5 from the 3-point line? He has 26 points or something, 25 points that game. LeBron makes the block down there. Kyrie hits the big shot.
He was just trying to get
Kevin Love gets the stop. There's a lot of things that had to line up for them to win 3 in a row against a team that lost 9 games all season. So in the last 3 games of their season, they lost 3 games. That's 33% of all the games they lost all season. 1/3, because they only lost 9. They were 73-9, just in case anyone forgot. The team that had the best record ever in the NBA. 73-9. They lost 33% of the games in the last 3 games they played in the NBA Finals that they lost in the entire 82-game season. It's got to be the greatest comeback. Not even close.
I think just because you raise your voice don't mean you're right?
I agree with you. When I raise my voice because I feel strongly about something, making my argument. I don't mean I'm right. You're right.
I don't agree. But
when you don't agree, it's what you always told me. I learned this from you. I'm glad I'm glad you said that.
Okay.
When you don't agree with something, or you don't agree with someone's idea, you don't agree with somebody's saying, then it's your responsibility to come back with something that's better.
Yes.
So I hope you have something that's better. That's why I'm saying that.
And I will next week.
Come on, now, I'm not giving you a week to think about it.
That's what we're gonna do.
If it's the greatest comeback you've ever known, it's be on top of your mind right now.
We're running out of time, man.
I don't care. You say whatever.
Time is
you
of
can
the
say
essence.
Super Bowl Eagles versus Patriots or whatever. I don't know.
Time is of the essence.
Hey,
we saw a pretty good comeback this year in the Super Bowl.
What Super Bowl?
You mean what Super Bowl? The Chiefs and the 49ers. The Chiefs came back.
Nah, the best Super Bowl comeback ever was Patriots against Atlanta Falcons.
That was my next one. I was about to go to Tom Brady.
That was the greatest comeback ever.
Well, I'm just saying.
3 games? 3 games.
Listen, all I'm saying is...
Win or go home 3 games in a row.
We'll touch on this next
Super Bowl is 1 game.
When I have time to really elaborate on my decision.
Man, because you see, that's what I be talking about. You be on that bull.
Nah, man.
You be on that bull, man.
We got less than a minute left.
I gave you one. I gave you a comeback one.
I got 2 right there that I would probably put ahead of that one.
No, you wouldn't. Nobody would.
Maybe not this year, but Tom Brady.
It's more impressive when you have to do 3 of them. Tom Brady ain't come back that 3 times, 3 Super Bowls. No, stop.
Listen,
that's 3 games.
I'll be back next year to elaborate and break it down for you.
Next week, not next year.
Next week, I'm sorry.
Come back next year, take a break.
You're right, next week. Man, get the shout outs in, man.
Man, shout out to the healthcare workers, man. I want to give them a standing ovation. I do want to set something up downtown for Lancaster General to have that whole situation they have in New York. I wish we could do something like that. I don't live in the city, but maybe we can set something up where we just go down there, get a quick little hand clap before standing ovation when they're walking out for shift change, and maybe TCP can put something like that together.
We need to. That's a good idea. It's a good idea. Maybe we should. Much respect and this goes out to not just the ones here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, but all over the world, all over the U.S. And beyond, because this is a big deal, and if people listen and we keep social distancing and taking the proper precautions, maybe we can start seeing a decline in deaths in the U.S. and just so we can get back to normalcy. But other than that, I'll give a shout out to my 7-letter family like I always do, and stay laid up, stay prayed up, stay out the way, and listen to what some old folks have to say. See you guys next week. Peace.